One of the aspects that's really fascinating is that when you talk about the topic of Christian liberty, the mindset for many begins to go on to the topic of things that may be controversial for some. Consumption of alcohol, the use of tobacco. As you said, at times in the past, amongst fundamentalists in this country, going to the movie theater was controversial. Playing cards. I was taught at one point as a child that playing cards was sinful because, well, some people play poker with it. And so, you could be leading them into temptation by playing Go Fish or Slapjack. And it's fascinating when you look at the confession that overwhelmingly that's not really their focus. And Calvin goes to say this about the topic of Christian liberty, and it's an abbreviated quote here, but he says, "But as we have said, if the subject is not understood," he says, "neither Christ nor the truth of the gospel nor inward peace of the soul is properly known." And his point here is that if you don't get Christian liberty right, then you don't understand what Christ has accomplished. You don't understand what you have in the gospel. You don't have proper peace. And when we look at the confession, we see the framers dealing with or free from what Christ has freed us from. Freedom we have in Christ to worship. This is the beginning of this section of the confession where they're dealing with this is how we are to live. We're not to live in a way that is in slavish fear, but rather one that is free and acting freely to worship God.
There's that phrase right at the beginning, God alone is Lord of the conscience and hath left it free from the doctrines and commandments of men, which are in anything contrary to his word. There's an absolute assertion there that because God is Lord of the believer's conscience, he is Lord of their life and rules over all that they do, that actually liberates the believer from all of the commandments of men that could be placed upon them.